Now, something happened to me last week that I just believe it is for those of you who still can't bring yourself to believe that agents of the Roman Catholic Church are amongst us and without a doubt have gained control of key committees within the Seventh-day Adventist Church. Let me tell you what happened. Last week there was a barrage of emails going back and forth in the Bahamas, and I ended up on the mailing list and I got one of them. And of course, there had to have been 20, 30 of them, and none of them really caught my eye until one came around with the title about the Catholicization of the Seventh-day Adventist Church Hymnal. No, that really caught my eye, and I decided to open the email and read it. I don't know the identity of the scholar who published the document I'm holding in my hands, but he or she deserves a medal. But here is evidence, meticulously presented, proving that for almost 30 years, God's people have been singing out of a hymnal laced with Roman Catholicism. About the only thing missing is the Ave Maria. In this now not-so-new hymnal, introduced to the church in 1985, words were changed and concepts introduced that reflect Catholic thought from beginning to end. I am still stunned. I got baptized in 1972. We've been using this hymnal since 1985, and it hadn't dawned upon me. I hadn't seen all of the evidence that is presented in this document. I hadn't seen it, hadn't considered it. So I can't believe all of this has been under my nose for close to 30 years. Why am I just seeing this? Surely, beloved, this expose in my hands is one more attempt by God to open the eyes of his people as to the extent of the ongoing Roman Catholic invasion of his church. Now, this document starts with a listing of the use of the Bible in the back of the hymnal. And it points out that in the old church hymnal, the King James Version was the only version of the Bible used. In this new hymnal, it points out that there are 225 passages of Scripture in this new, and I still call it new hymnal, consisting of 135 response readings, 14 canticles and prayers, 36 calls to worship, 13 words of assurance, 14 offertory sentences, and 13 benedictions. In these, the King James Version, which was the Bible used in the old Adventist Church hymnal, is now used less than 7% of the time, while the Jerusalem Bible, a Catholic Bible, which was never used in the old hymnal, is used more than twice as much. After showing us the change in Bible versions from the old hymnal to the new, the author goes on to give example after example of corrupted hymns. Let me read from this document and give you 4 examples. Hymn number 3, God himself is with us. Verse 2 of this hymn also elevates the Roman Catholic concept of Mary. Come, abide within me. Let my soul, like Mary, be thine earthly sanctuary. This again assumes Mary is still alive. Gerhard Tertzigen wrote the words of this hymn in German. A literal translation of the German words which he originally penned possesses no reference to Mary whatsoever. The original words were, Lord, come dwell in me. Let my heart and my spirit be another temple for thee. Why did the Seventh-day Adventist Church Hymnal Committee accept a Catholic change to an originally Protestant hymn? The second, hymn number 142, Angels We Have Heard on High. Everybody knows. In this hymn, verse 4 uplifts the Catholic notion that the dead are heavenly saints who can assist us. Mary, Joseph, lend your aid. How can they lend the aid when they're dead? While we raise our hearts in love. This is pure Catholicism. The verse has no place in a true Seventh-day Adventist hymnal. In fact, this song was never found in earlier Seventh-day Adventist hymnals. We shouldn't be invoking the aid of Mary. Third, hymn number 403, Let Us Break Bread Together. Now, I spotted that, and others did, but I didn't know there were others. In this hymn, abject sun worship is promoted. It is probably the best known of the aberrant hymns. When I fall, on my knees with my face to the rising sun. S-U-N. O Lord, have mercy on me. This comes straight out of Babylonian paganism. Such sun worship was condemned by God in the days of the prophet Ezekiel. And the author quotes Ezekiel 8:16-18. And he brought me into the inner court of the Lord's house. And behold, at the door of the temple of the Lord, between the porch and the altar, were about 25 men with their backs toward the temple of the Lord and their faces toward the east. And they worshiped the S-U-N toward the east. Then he said unto me, have you seen this, O son of man? That's God talking. Is it a light thing to the house of Judah that they commit the abomination which they commit here? And the author goes on. The important point here is that whoever gained control of this committee, the Seventh-day Adventist Church Hymnal Committee, saw to it that a song exalting pagan sun worship, which is what the Catholic Sunday is all about, was included in our hymnal. Come, let me give you one more. I've saved this one for last, and there are many, many others. You can go online, or I'll put a link to this at our website and you can read it for yourself. This one is a real classic, and it helps explain why we're using the shot on your screen as a backdrop. Hymn number 471, Grant Us Your Peace. All the verses of this hymn are virtually identical to the hymn sheet handed out in the Vatican Square when the Pope lectures the assembled crowd. The 4 verses are identical in 4 languages: Latin, English, French, and Spanish. The English states, Father, grant us your peace. O loving Father, grant us your peace. Grant us peace. Grant us your peace. Grant us peace. Loving Father, grant us your peace. In 4 different languages, thousands of faithful Catholics, with their eyes fixed on their Holy Father standing in the distant window, intone their worshipful prayer to Him. Consider the Latin version of what they tell Him, as it is written in our new Seventh-day Adventist hymnal. Dona nobis pacem, pacem. Dona nobis pacem. Dona nobis pacem. Dona, are you tired of it? Dona nobis pacem. Dona nobis pacem. Dona nobis pacem. This same Latin phrase is in a Catholic Mass. And by the way, didn't Jesus tell us not to use vain repetitions? Are you getting the picture this morning? It's not just David Mould getting bent out of shape about the wickedness of the Great Hope. It predates the Great Hope. The tampering with the Adventist Church Hymnal and the issuing of this new one was done in 1985. We've been had somewhere. I know there's a room in the Vatican, maybe it's at the General Conference, with a whole bunch of cardinals and bishops lifting their glasses and toasting, who knows, maybe toasting Mary and calling us a pack of absolute idiots for what we've allowed to take place. If you think being a watchman is easy, let me assure you it isn't. Recently over the phone, one person referred to me as a moving target. I know what she meant too. What she was saying is that the messages we preach are no lollipop messages. They can get you killed. What do you think those who gutted the great controversy are thinking right now? What do you think those who corrupted our church hymnal are thinking right now? They don't know how far our protest is going to go, and they know they've got to stop it before millions of eyes are opened and a wholesale revolution breaks out in God's church. Beloved, unless God steps in, some of us presenting these latter-day messages are going to get killed. That's why I'm asking for partners now, while the blood is still warm in my veins and I can preach more messages like the one you just heard. Click here and partner with us. with a monthly or a one-time gift, and we'll be grateful for as long as God gives us life. May God richly bless you.